Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Now, they suppress comments and suppress my communication. So if you can respond to this video with a video response where you put the title of the video first, so when I Google it or when I look it up on YouTube, it comes up. I want you to weigh in on this idea. I live in a small town here in California that's by the 11th largest city in America, San Jose. Give or take 11th, last time I checked. And it has about 1 million people. And Morgan Hill has maybe, when I was younger, maybe like 30, 40,000. It's probably up to maybe 50,000 or so by now. Okay. And so people, conservatives like to keep things a certain way. Now, it's a very mixed town. It might even be 50-50 liberal and conservative. And in recent years, a lot of liberals have moved in. And at one point, there was a controversy where there was some kind of transsexual event here. Okay. Now, keep in mind, I'm heterosexual. Part of why I'm persecuted is for being heterosexual. And there's certain alliance between whites, fanatic white racists, fanatic Jewish racists, right? Zionists, what have you, and fanatic LGBT corporatists. They kind of are the main people behind gangstalking. And they want me to seem gay and dirty and ugly, and they do things in a way to take away from my health, to take away from my car's appeal, to make it so I have to only wear certain clothes because they put chemicals and stuff on the clothes, and they make it so it's hard for me to walk. I have to only wear certain shoes. I wear the same kind of outfit every day. I have to wash it every day, what have you. And it all kind of stems from their sense of propriety, what they think is proper. That's called, their sense of propriety. So, for example, they probably wouldn't be a big fan of a black man opening a store here that would attract certain crowds, especially from out of town, because as they drive down Monterey, the main road here through Morgan Hill basically is Monterey, that they would see this store and they would say, hey, that's an eyesore. Recently they opened a car wash, for example, and it was kind of like a new liberal themed car wash. It's a great example of this because it's like this bright red car wash, and there's another car wash that was the main car wash here that's been here for a long time called Classic Car Wash. Classic. And so I want you to weigh in on this idea. Do you think it's fair for people in a town to say because their groups have really proliferated over the years, and the demographics of America are, 67% white. There's a lot of Jews and crypto Jews. There's a lot of LGBT people. Their numbers have exploded in recent years, especially with, millennials, Generation Z and what have you. Do you think it's fair for them to insist that the town looks a certain way? Or do you think that the Constitution supersedes their sense of propriety? They say things like, we just want to keep it the way it is. Now let me give you my take on it really briefly. The reason why they want to keep things the way it is isn't because they're fair. That's not fair. It isn't some harmless kind of, feeling they have when they drive through town and they want to maintain memories. Okay, that's a part of it, but it's not harmless. It's a complex. Okay, so if you lived in an all-white town and black people started moving in and one of them wanted to date your daughter, you'd be pissed off. And you'd want to, if you're a racist person, you'd want to, go start trouble. And you'd say, hey, we want to keep things the way it is. And you want to keep black people from opening up businesses and moving in. And you want to keep them from dating your daughter, right? That's wrong. Now let's remove the daughter. You know that they're dating other white people's daughters. And they want to set up, businesses, and they want to do it just as well as you when you and your family are used to them doing bad. Is it as simple as you want to keep it the way it is? Now, they might say something like, hey, it's nothing against them. But when they go through their town, they have memories. It was a certain way, has a certain effect. What the Asians might call a feng shui. It's a certain energy and experience you have when you move through the town. And I can understand that they want to keep that the same. I can understand that somebody who's stalking a female thinks she's attractive. But I don't agree that they should stalk her. And I don't agree that they should violate my constitutional rights and turn their backs on God when there's over 380,000 churches in this country. And a lot of them don't want me to say this next thing. And I've proven for years that I'm the one who should lead all religions in terms of what is morally precise. You have an option in a secular nation to do what you want, right? God gave you free will. But you have no right to suppress me And all sane and logical and mature conversations start with them no longer gang stalking me and compensating me for years and years and decades of being targeted with over 23 witnesses on record. While they maneuver to hack my videos and to reduce and take away from the evidence that I've posted, and they've obstructed justice and added stress that way as well. So what I want you to really speak on is, do you think that people, in this case it's mostly whites, Jews, and LGBT people, people in general, it could be black, it could be anyone, you think they have a right to violate someone's constitutional rights and human rights and say you can't be successful here because we like the effect that it has when only whites, Jews, LGBT, and token minorities are successful, and maybe a drug dealer here or there, and then we lock them up for effect? Do you think they have that right? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's understandable enough? What do you think of it? Again, I'll be looking for video responses. I'll put a lot of tags on this. We'll see if YouTube suppresses this. We'll see if they suppress the comments. We'll see if people who watch it tend to be 10, 20, 30 people that watch the videos when I put a gang stalking tag on it, a title on it. Let's see what happens here. Okay, real quickly, I want to touch on this briefly so I can add this to the title so hopefully the video gets out more. The reason why Sonya Massey was killed is connected to this. Okay. She was the victim of culture clash. First, society had kind of let her down to the point where she didn't have a very disciplined culture, and by the looks of it, a sound network that was always there for her, right? When there was a prowler there, she should have called the police first, yes, and then she should have called someone that she knew. And that person should have come in a timely fashion, what have you. She wasn't able to do that. Her neighbors didn't seem to be very much involved, so she's there by herself, right? And that has to do with culture clash and the resulting isolation. And there's a society that's trying to force you into groups. They're trying to force you to be part of Black Lives Matter or the Trump movement or, idolizing a politician or some cult or political group or whatever, some church. They try to force you into these government-run groups, and they literally terrorize you if you're not. And so when I look at this case, it screams that she was targeted, right? There's a prowler, a stalker, prowler. Okay, I actually have a picture of a female, if I can find it, I'll put it at the end of this video, that actually looks a lot like her, that I actually saved to my phone, and it was well before this. Okay, I do think that this case is actually connected to my case, but until I have more evidence of that, I'm going to hold off on committing to that stance, and I'm going to say that there's a good chance, what the evidence shows us now, based on the names, based on the similarities. But I'm not 100% sure, but it's high 90s at this point. Because when you understand who I am, you understand why they're obsessing on me. And I've proven that I'm the idea that Christ is superimposed on. In fact, martial is marital scrambled. Christ is the bridegroom, one of the top martial arts ever possible. I've proven that with my legal and peaceful challenge. Okay, ask me about that. I want to make this brief because I'm in the cuts and it's going to take a long time to upload. I can't upload from my home network because they hack me. Okay. And say even the word Christ, you have the word hit scrambled. And Lilith, right, is ill hits scrambled. She hits like an ill person. She's mentally ill. And it shows in your art. If you try to do martial arts and you're messed in the head, it shows it. Okay? That's part of why they edited some of my videos to make it so I look weird. A story for another day. They edited, in a sense, all my videos. Actually, not just in a sense. They've edited all my videos in various ways is what I mean to say. And the word Bethlehem goes back to Belt-he-ham. And we see in Isaiah 11:5, it says, righteousness and justice will be as built. The heavenly warrior defeats the beast. Revelation 19, that's a story for another day. But I want to make that the center of this video. I just wanted you to understand that this thing that I'm bringing up here touches on the very essence of the problems that America faces today.